Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the Fall 2025 Project 100. My name's Julia Damchek, and I will be hosting tonight along with my colleague Robin McLaughlin and, of course, Dan Goodell. Thank you for fixing that. Upcoming events. We're just going to share some upcoming events that are happening with Northwood University and specifically the alumni department. The alumni holiday party hosted by Collie Ferrari is happening on December 3rd. That's in West Bloomfield, Michigan. In addition to an alumni holiday party that evening, we're also hosting a prospective student event that starts at 5 o'clock. So you're welcome to bring a prospective student, whether it's your own child or a family friend. You're welcome to bring them to that event at 5 o'clock. Well, they'll get an exclusive tour of the facility and they'll get a meet and greet with Jeff and Joe Colley. So that's December 3rd. Winter Wonderland at Northwood is happening December 9th, 11th, 16th, and 18th. Complimentary horse and wagon rides through campus. So we're excited to host that again. And the lights just went up today on campus. So we're excited for that. The Staffer Dinner, that if you want to support our hospitality students, that is on February 28th. The Fashion Showcase, again, supporting our merchandising students, that is on March 27th. Those are two big events where you can support our students, in addition to our auto show. And that auto show is coming up in the fall of 2026, same weekend as this year, September 18th through the 20th. So hope you can join us at one of these events or all of these events. And we'll also continue to host our online monthly webinars. For those of you who live far from campus, we still want to provide you with some content and help you engage with us. All right, let's move on to introduce our three presenting groups tonight. The first is Five Star Student Union. Second will be Voices of Freedom, and the third is Timberwolf Media Network. As a reminder, I'm going to have each group introduce themselves and we'll share their video. After each group has presented, we will then open it up for Q&A so you can ask questions to any of the three projects. So please hold your questions until the three projects have all presented. And then please use your the Q&A chat box at the bottom of your screen. And then I will moderate those questions for our students. Just a reminder that all of these projects have been vetted and approved, supported by Northwood leadership. So we are excited to share these projects with you today, and you guys can choose which one you like best. All right. Our first project will be Five Star Student Union with Stephen Hackbarth and Ariana. We're going to go with that today, and their advisor, Nancy Hofer. Take it away.
Hello, I'm Stephen Hackbarth, and I work in student life on campus. And with me today is the Director of Student Life, Nancy Hofer, and Ariana Valakosha. We're here to share a project we're excited about. It's called the Five Star Student Union. Hold on, before we get started, let's grab a seat.
Oh, wait, Stephen, I don't think you should sit here.
Ew! But that's exactly why we're here. Our student union, the heart of campus, isn't living up to its potential.
Exactly. Between the mystery carpet stains and the vibes getting the dentist waiting room area instead of a college hangout, students don't exactly feel excited to study here or even collaborate here.
And it matters. The student union should be a place where ideas flow, where clubs and organizations are excited to meet, and where new or prospective students can't stop thinking about. Instead, if students walk in, they tend to look around and leave shortly after.
And that's why we need your help. Our goal is to transform the outdated student union into a five-star student union, a space that's welcoming, cozy, colorful, and actually functional.
We believe our campus deserves a student union that matches the energy, ambition, and passion of its students. And that's what the Five Star Student Union can do for us. Thank you.
I'm the highest in the room. Hope I make it out of here. She saw my eyes, she knew
What's up, MTV Cribs? Welcome to the Student Union. Our Student Union is open 24/7 for studying and recreation. We host weekly events with over 60 guests, and there's an average of 10 student organizations that meet here every week. And this is also one of the most important stops on our prospective student tours.
So let's check this place out. As you can tell, the student union here is fully ADA approved.
As you make your way to the right, you see these ugly brown couches that aren't very Northwood brand colors. And then you make your way over here. You have these cocktail tables. One's a circle, the other three are squares. And as you can see, there's some great finish on the chairs. I don't know what that is. Then as you come over here, you make your way right here. We've got my homie doing homework, but as you can see, it's a little bit of a low rider, wouldn't you say? It's a bit of a low rider?
It's definitely low.
And then we have these. These are the only furnitures that are really easy to move whatsoever. And they are definitely worn. As you can see, there's some stains here. There's a rip. You can really see the interior. Then you make your way over here. There's more stains and more stains and more stains. And then, at least we have some good chairs, right? As you can see, some, oh, nope, stains. Stains. As you can see, this seat has been turned a little bit of Northwood blue. As you can see, that's probably the most brand colors that there are in this whole place. And then down here, we have somebody's custom art.
So right now, our student union is only worth 2 stars. But we think with your help, we can turn this into a 5-star student union.
That's why we're going to hear real suggestions from real students about how to up our game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the Student Union for our weekly Dancing with the Stars watch party. And we're going to be asking students what they think about the Student Union and how to improve it. All right, I'm here with
Andrew Lake.
All right, Andrew. How often do you come to the Student Union?
I come to the student union maybe like once or twice a week, typically.
Awesome. Now, how do you think that the Student Union could improve?
I feel like being able to move around like furniture would probably like make it better and make people want to come here more. I feel like everything's pretty like stuck where it is. Maybe just some updates to it too. You know, just a couple stains here and there.
And if you feel like the furniture was better or easier to move, would you come here more often?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I feel like I'd try and do more group work in here maybe. You know, invite some friends over for some study sessions and whatnot.
All right, I'm here with
Maggie Nelson,
All right, Maggie, how often do you come to the Student Union?
maybe once a week.
All right, and so how do you feel like the Student Union could improve?
Maybe some comfier seats, maybe more seats, cozier setting. Because what is this?
Yeah, you're right.
Stains.
Stains, and what is that? Do you know what that
No,
is?
It looks like cheese.
Looks like cheese. How do you feel like the Student Union could improve?
I think there could be more seating options and maybe cozier lighting. Yeah, I think it could be cozier and like warmer in here.
You heard them. This place needs some serious upgrades, which is why we are proposing Northwood colored modular couches that can be rearranged for study sessions and soft lounging areas for relaxation and group work. We are also proposing charging stations and outlets throughout the space, as well as a digital bulletin board where we can update campus events, student achievements, and more. We also want improved lighting for a modern look and cozier vibes, as well as accent decor and plants to make the place feel more lively and inspirational. Here's what a breakdown of our budget looks like.
Now you may be asking, why does this matter?
Research from universities found that better furniture, lighting, and layout actually improve students' focus, energy, and improve their mental health. So, the 5-star Student Union is not just about new couches and TVs. It's about creating a space that helps students feel happy, connect more, and inspires their entrepreneurial spirit. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Stephen, Ariana, and Nancy. Okay, we're going to move on to our next project. And our next project is Voices of Freedom with Colin Ridgway, Avery Houston, and their advisor, Kate Hessling.
Good evening, donors and Northwood alumni. As Julie mentioned, my name is Colin Ridgway, and I have the honor of serving as our chapter president here for our Turning Point USA at Northwood University chapter. And she also mentioned I'm here with our chapter advisor, Kate Hessling, and our chapter secretary, Avery Houston. And yeah, we're very excited to bring our project, Voices of Freedom, to you guys. A little bit of background on our chapter. We are newly rechartered. So I had the privilege back in December of 2024 of attending America Fest out in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. And a part of that journey, we actually got to recharter our chapter because we learned that our chapter here at Northwood University was dormant, meaning we weren't even recognized through the National Turning Point organization as a legitimate chapter. So immediately once we found that out, we rechartered our chapter and we got some new leadership in that. And then we interacted with prominent speakers and Turning Point USA staff in that who've helped been instrumental in our rechaptering and rechartering. And so we were very excited to come back to Midland, Michigan and implement everything we've learned. And so since that time, just under a year that we've been newly rechartered, we have been very active on campus. It's been a real whirlwind what we've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. Some of those things include we've brought a mechanical bull to campus. We have hosted many events, including a cut the debt ceiling cake, which advocated for the national debt. Each student's portion of the national debt was written on a piece of a paper plate, and each person got a piece of cake. We've been tabling pretty much every other week out on the mall walk here, just promoting, our chapter, getting people involved in that. And then most notably, just last week, we had the opportunity to host Stephen Davis, who's a top TPUSA contributor on campus. And really, once we took over, our goal was to really grow the chapter, not only grow it, but really make it sustainable. And so I'm happy to report in less than a year, we've started from ground zero, having 0 members to now we have over 50 active members on campus. Like I mentioned last week, we had Stephen Davis on campus and he brought out over 120 person crowd, 120 students, which is pretty remarkable given our small campus. That's about a 10% of our student population. So we're really excited to bring this project to you. We really think it has deep roots within our Northwood community as it highly reflects our Northwood idea and fresher code of ethics. And we really believe that this is a speaker series that can impact a lot of people. Thank you. Hello, Project 100 donors. Thank you so much for your support of Northwood students. Our Turning Point USA chapter here at Northwood University is extremely excited to bring our project proposal, Voices of Freedom. It's a speaker series that will bring speakers to campus and really allow us to embody the Northwood idea and the fresher code of ethics.
Turning Point USA at Northwood University is a registered student organization that is a chapter of the National Turning Point USA organization, which is also a nonprofit dedicated to educating young students about the importance of freedom and free enterprise. Some events we have hosted on campus since rechartering is Pi Patriot. This was a fun way to get people to come and meet the chapter and learn about how Turning Point USA is dedicated to educating young people about the importance of freedom and free markets. Another event that we have hosted is Cut the Debt Cake, where we handed out free cake on plates that had a note emphasizing each student's slice of the federal debt. We donated a bunch of leftover cake to the Midland Law Enforcement Center because we are grateful for our first responders. Another event that we host is Bucking Socialism. We brought a mechanical bull to campus and made marketing material to drive chapter membership and educate our student body about why economic freedom, not socialism, is the key to thriving societies.
All right, we're here at Griswold Communications Center where we're hosting Stephen Davis tonight. Stephen Davis is a high-profile individual on the National Turning Point USA Speakers Bureau. He is a fierce advocate for free enterprise, and it's a big deal for our chapter to be able to secure a speaker of his caliber. National Turning Point USA leadership is hopeful Northwood's chapter will become a location where other national figures will want to come to connect with high school and college students from Michigan. It's one of the reasons we believe our proposal, Voices of Freedom, will be such an enriching experience here on campus. Point USA at Northwood University proposes Voices of Freedom, a speaker series dedicated to bringing nationally recognized leaders, thinkers, and public figures to campus who embody the values of God, family, and country. Our goal is to create a dynamic and meaningful engagement opportunity for Northwood students, faculty, and the broader Midland community. Through these events, students will hear firsthand from influential speakers who champion free enterprise, individual liberty, and the personal responsibility, values deeply aligned with Northwood's mission of developing future leaders of a global free enterprise society. Exposure to diverse, high-quality perspectives will strengthen students' critical thinking, civic engagement, and leadership skills. Hosting such speakers will also raise Northwood's profile by attracting community members, alumni, and prospective students, showcasing our university as a place where ideas and respectful dialogue thrive.
Hi everyone, I'm Carly Baker. We have Stephen Davis here that came to our university to speak to us students. So I have one question for you. So what would you tell the Northwood University donors toward proposing the idea of having more guest speakers like you on campus?
We need to continue to empower the next generation of individuals to go out there and be positive voices of change that are going to push the mission forward. And we have a mission, especially when it comes to our country, especially when it comes to the United States of America. We have to push forth the mission to be able to keep pushing forward as far as freedom, faith, and of course, liberty. We need these things. These are the core foundational aspects of our country, especially when it comes to our families. We need to empower these people to keep going forward. And the only way we can do that is if we have people out here constantly pouring into our young individuals. This is what we need. So let's continue to empower our young people. Let's continue to give them the resources needed and necessary to effectuate the type of change that we need for our country. We're passing the baton on to them. It's time for them to run on to the future. The only way they can do that is if they're properly motivated and funded, and that's what I hope that you're able to do. Roll Timbies, though. Roll Timbies, yes indeed. Roll Timbies.
All right. Thank you, Turning Point USA and Voices of Freedom. All right, our final project for tonight is the Timberwolf Media Network with Northwood student Ty Clough. Ty, go ahead.
Thank you, Julie. Hello, everyone. My name is Ty Clough. I am the founder of Timberwolf Media Network. Our advisor is Luke Starkey, who is the SID of marketing for Northwood Athletics. However, he's not able to join me because Ferris State and Northwood University basketball are playing right now in overtime. So that is a big game for them. So a little bit about Timberwolf Media Network. It's a newly developed student organization which provides hands-on experiences for students that are interested in photography, videography, and social media in that digital marketing field. So we want to focus on bridging the gap between students that are interested in media and Northwood University majors and programs. So there's not a direct program for students that are interested in getting into digital media. We do have marketing and all those things that have classes within digital media and social media, but there isn't a main focus program. So without having to go into finding professors that can get into that and help kind of build a program with Northwood, we kind of help partner with some professionals within the industry to allow students to learn, as well as providing some certifications and workshops so students can build their skills in a good area with other like-minded people. So Northwood Media Network is, since it's new, we don't have a lot of funding and backing. So the reason for this project is to help with funding to obtain an inventory of camera equipment that students can be able to rent out. And yes, we do have things called the Idea Center. However, the availability and the inventory is kind of limited. You'll learn a little bit that it's more set up for a studio site instead of being able to be mobile and let students go around campus with the equipment and such. So a little different between Northwood Media Network and the marketing department. The Media Network is strictly for students that want to get interested and get opportunities within the digital media field. So letting them work on their own personal projects, letting them cover some events like academic events, athletic events, black tie, homecoming, welcome weekend, Hall Night, things of that nature. We let them have creativity and we let them own their own media. We're just a resource that they can come to help learn, lend our equipment and just grow. So thank you again. If you want to play a video, that'd be great.
Hi, my name is Ty Clough. I'm a graduating senior here at Northwood University. I'm here to talk to you about the Timberwolf Media Network. We are a student-led organization that I started that is all about giving students the opportunity to gain hands-on experience in photography, videography, and digital media production. The Timberwolf Media Network was created to provide a platform for students from all majors to learn, create, and grow in this fast-moving world of digital media. Our goal is very simple: to help prepare students for careers in the media industry by giving them real-world experience and access to professional-grade equipment and industry professionals. Of course, to help make this possible, we're requesting funding to help purchase this essential equipment. Things like mirrorless cameras, like this Canon, lenses that can adapt to those cameras and range from wide angles to portraits to zoom lenses. And of course, with those things, you need things like memory cards, batteries, and storage units, like this SanDisk SSD. Students are going to want to get into video, so you're going to need things like audio kits, like an external microphone, or this wireless mic I'm wearing. Also with video, you're going to need to stabilize it, so things like tripods, monopods, and gimbals. And of course, with photo and video, you need lighting kits, LED lights, static strobes, and studio flashes are some of these things. With this equipment, students will be elevated to have the best chance of success and creativity at Northwood University. Obtaining gear that can handle low light situations and have video capabilities and be easy to use and understand, as well as have the accessories needed that can make that equipment be used at its highest potential, allowing the student to have the best foundation to be creative, out of the box, and free thinking. Timberwolf Media Network gives students ownership over their work. Members can check out cameras, lenses, audio kits, lighting kits, and other essential gear to help them cover their events, create content, or work on creative projects. Beyond events, Timberwolf Media Network helps students build portfolios, develop technical skills, and gain confidence working with professional workflows. But Timberwolf Media Network isn't just about equipment. It's about collaboration, creativity, and professionalism. Members can learn from each other, experiment new techniques, and produce content that meets industry standards. This is all about giving them a strong foundation for their media careers. I just want to say thank you so much for considering Timberwolf Media Network for Project 100. Your support will make a huge difference for students here at Northwood by giving them the tools, confidence, and experience they need to succeed. We're excited to continue building this program and sharing the stories of our campus with the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. All right. Great presentation from all three. I'm going to open it up for Q&A right now. So remember that type in your Q&A, your questions in the chat box down there. And if you can direct your questions towards a specific group, that is always helpful. First question for Voices of Freedom. Can you explain specifically how your money will be used, how your budget will be used?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, thank you for the question. So our budget is primarily three different buckets: our event promotion and marketing material, our operating expenses, and then apparel. So first, our events and promotion marketing material, we have budgeted about $3,500 in that sector. Because as of right now, Turning Point, we're very grateful to have the National Turning Point organization behind us. And they allow us to submit grants requests for these speakers because they have a speaker bureau involved in that. So we don't necessarily pay the honorariums or speaker fees that some of these big names charge. However, our project is really focusing on, the actual event planning side of things. So that $3,500 will be included in some paid media, some targeted media, because as of right now, we have our Instagram page, and we have grown that to over 1,100 followers from, I think, about 300 followers. So that's excellent. We're continuing to grow in that aspect, but we're still limited in the ways we can market our speakers and events here on campus. So using some of this money to use some targeted media to really captivate our audience in that will be beneficial. Additionally, we have budgeted around $500 for different posters, flyers, and other, physical media needs in that. Some of the operating expenses that we've budgeted for is supplies such as, you saw in the video, the balloons that were on stage when Stephen came last week. Just things like tapes, cups, plates, napkins, things like that for our refreshments and that. We budget about $500 for that, $2,500 for the refreshments for these events, $2,000 for gifts and other expenses for our speakers and that. And then our apparel, about $1,500. I'll be given the nature of our events in that. Our security does require us to have certain apparel in that to wear, identifiable factors. So we budgeted about $750 for event volunteer shirts, and then $750 for the executive team to get jackets made for these events, for a total of $10,000.
Okay, thank you, Colin. Okay, Ty, a few questions. How many students do you have involved with your program? Who will continue the program once you graduate? All those things sound expensive. What can you specifically purchase with the money, and who will provide the education necessary to run the equipment? Lots of questions, but I think you can read those too.
Very good questions. So most recently, our latest meeting, we had about 25 students. And last semester, we did a social media marketing certification. We had about 20 students do it in person. We had about 10 to 11 people do it online and to finish it through the semester. So we are more of a targeted organization for those that are interested. We're not a wide range organization, as in not everybody wants to get into it. However, who will continue the program? I have a freshman who's in my group that I've been working very closely with within athletics. Her name is Addison West. She's a graduate from, I would say, Goodrich, actually. She's a graduate from Goodrich. Luke Starkey will continue to be the advisor and overlook that program as well with her. So a little youth to keep that program going and be involved for plus years. I'm working on at least building out a executive group, a executive board, to make sure there's not just one person in charge, there's multiple people in charge. Yes, camera lenses, other items are very expensive. I know that firsthand. As you could tell, I was probably one of the people that spent thousands of dollars on equipment. All the equipment you saw in that video were my personal equipment. Besides, I believe the microphones were from the Idea Center. Specifically purchased within our budget, it kind of differs. A lot of it will be used gear. I am a very big advocate on used gear, only because it is not as expensive as brand new. It's also been used, which means people trusted it, and then they sold it. So there's websites out there called MPB. As a website I've used most recently, and I use it all the time to buy my equipment. They have very good rates. They make sure the equipment works. They have a 6-month window for repairs and kind of a warranty that you don't really have to pay extra for. So that's awesome. And then from there, cameras will probably be one of the more expensive, as well as lenses. So we had about $3,000 for just the camera bodies and around $3,000 for the lenses, because those are around the most expensive part. However, you can find good mirrorless cameras that do very well around the $900 range per camera body. And lenses wise, you can find them between $750 to $1,000 that have the capability of f2.8, which is the most light you can get in with a camera at a low budget. However, and then when you get to other things like tripods, audio kits, lighting, and other accessories, it kind of defers to $1,000 and less. You can find a lot of good things for $1,000 and less in those areas. So our main target is making sure we can get cameras and lenses and batteries and memory cards, and then everything after that would be extra, because you want to start off with a good foundation of having 2 to 3 cameras and multiple lenses that people can rent out and have a good range of. And then with education, to run the equipment, I am working on kind of building a video education system to allow when I'm not here, or if I'm still here, to let students know how to use the equipment properly, to learn from wide ranges between graphic design and videography and photography, as well as there are, I know a lot of people within the industry that we have had guest speakers with, and that we're going to have guest speakers with that will also help with teaching those subjects. Hopefully that.
Thank you. Yes, good answers. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to student life. Your budget flashed on the screen too quickly to review. Could you just review your budget again, how the money will be spent?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the question. And we would love to talk about this. So this is our breakdown. So in the furniture department, we're thinking couches, like the modular couches, the chairs, the tables, the stools. We're budgeting 4,000 of the 10,000 dedicated to that. For the technology, TVs, mounting cables, and the digital board, we found the tech necessary to be able to fit within the $2,000 budget. And then design and ambiance, so lighting, decor, plants, rugs, that kind of thing is $1,500 because the lighting will be, we want to do a lot with the lighting. And then charging outlets and the wiring to improve the accessibility features, that will be $1,000. And then this is sort of the $1,500 that we have to, if we, we're lowballing on the furniture and things like that. We have $1,500 that we are going to do towards community additions. So that would be like a coffee station and an art wall. So for kind of building that community vibe. But if we need that $1,500 to stretch towards the furniture or the technology, we can do that as well. So thank you so much for asking. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Stephen. All right. Donor, alumni, Jared. Hi, Jared. He's got questions for Voices for Freedom. I think you kind of answered some of these questions already, but I'll read through the whole thing. Again, how many speakers do you plan on bringing to campus if you do get this funding? Would TPUSA partner with Northwood to make those speakers available to the public? And can you clarify, are you going to use the funds for multiple speakers, or are you just focusing on one? And then how would TPUSA continue Voices for Freedom after Project 100 funds are extinguished? How long do you expect those to last?
Sure. Thank you, Jared, for your questions. We really appreciate it. First of all, I just want to clarify, this project is really designed to help our chapter sustain far after the current leadership team graduates. That was something that is very dear to my heart and our leadership team, because we have put so much work into this chapter and rebuilding it from the ground. That was the downfall in the last leadership when Turning Point was active on Northwood about 2 to 3 years ago, is all that leadership graduated and there was no one left to take over. So that's something that we are really trying to not make happen again. So that said, this money will be used for the speaker series. Our plan is right now to have at least 2 to 4 speakers a semester. For instance, our Stephen Davis, who we just had on campus, we spent roughly about $500 on. So given that, we feel like we can at least have about 15 speakers in this series. So like I said, the goal of this is to really lay the foundation and be able to have this money here in account to be used in the future. So this doesn't stop and we keep growing this chapter because we are America's Free Enterprise University. We're different, and that's something that our leadership team really focuses on. Our three core values are God, family, and country. We deeply align with the Northwood idea and the Fresh Air Code of Ethics. I think that's answers to a lot of your questions. Turning Point does partner with us in these speakers. Like I mentioned, this money is mainly used for the operations side of things. So Turning Point, through their speaker bureau, they cover most of the honorariums or speaker fees and travel expenses to get the speaker to campus. But it's our job as the chapter to actually put the event to life and bring it to life and put the event on. So that's what this money is really used for. And we're really excited to bring this to life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we've got question for Five Star Student Union. I'm gonna put these two questions together. How do you plan to keep the new furniture clean and keep it in a better state? What role might facilities have in helping to support you guys with this potential investment? And then same thing, Lauren. Actually, Lauren, hi. Lauren is a previous winner of Project 100. She was leading the I Hear You project, and now is a donor. So thanks for staying with us, Lauren. So she also is wondering about sustaining the space if you guys do renovate the student union, and how would you keep it clean and up to date?
First of all, thank you so much for the questions. Those were terrific questions. And hi, Lauren, you know all about student life, so this is great to hear from you. So, first of all, it's a great question because we host so many events with, that can get over 100 students in here. So how do we maintain that space and make sure that this investment that we're making doesn't just have the same things happen to it? So first of all, a lot of these damages are old. And since we've all came and been on the staff, we've done a great job kind of curating this culture at these events that students kind of clean up after themselves. They take care of their space, but accidents happen, of course. So the first easiest way to address this is having, when we do painting events, when we do events with food, protective equipment like, that's not too invasive, just protective equipment over the new modular couches, things like that. And then also with this new things, it's really at the heart of campus, and this is like a secondary home for students. It's open 24/7. So I think that the students will have an appreciation and want to care for this new equipment because they've all expressed how much we need it. So it's kind of just something that they would have take pride in. And then in addition to the protective tarps at the painting events and things like that, better organization of the space. So how it is right now, we cater food weekly for whether it's watch parties or some sort of event in the student union. They are kind of forced to eat on the couch, the same couches. So it's sort of creating this thing where all of the mess is kind of drug out to those things, and then it gets all over the felt and things like that. So having an organization that the tables are truly the table places and the lounges are truly the lounging places. So that way there's not as much of a mix, and because that's leading to a lot of the damages of the equipment. So I hope that answered your question, and thank you so much.
I like it. So it sounds like you plan on changing the culture, kind of changing the process of how you
Culture,
manage.
organization, and
Yeah.
then the protective tarps for the painting events.
Yes, I like it. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. We might be going back to you. Seems like a student union, seems like an important building on campus for current students and a tool for recruiting. Have you spoken with Northwood leadership, and where might Northwood fall in making our own investment into your space?
Also, another amazing question. So, we have been a big advocate of the fact that this is, so it's super important to the students because it's open 24/7 and it's at the center of the campus. It's really accessible through dorms and Nagley Village. And so, not only is it important for the students there to cultivate community, but the city of Midland and the auto show when they're coming through, this is the spot that people come to warm up. And it's not very like appealing. And so that's another difficulty. And then on the prospective students tours, the admission reps are so good when they come in, they're like, this is our student union, and they hype it up. But we can kind of see it on the looks of the faces that it's not exactly memorable. There's no standout colors and features. So as for the working with the leadership team, I think sort of this project is helping us get that connection and sort of the hype about it and through talking to students about their ideas and things of that nature. So we're still building the support. As for budgeting, I was just speaking with Nancy about the director of student life, because we've kind of anticipated, like, why isn't it coming from other funds? So our student life team's funds are largely spent on making sure on not physical equipment, on these events and making sure that students have things to do. As for facilities, they have done projects similar to making cozier furniture and better lighting in the lower minor space on campus. So they know how to do it. The projects that we're thinking about, they worked with 3 bridges, I believe, or 3 rivers, and then 3 rivers. And we sort of have a similar plan in terms of lighting and structure, but it's just in a much better location on campus. So facilities will be able to support us, and then hopefully we can sort of build that hype for the leadership as well. So thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. Okay, we're going to move on. Ty, I think you already kind of answered this question. Lauren's asking who's going to be coaching the students to develop better techniques. I think you're going to be one of those educators, and you're going to bring some other folks on.
Yeah, it was to go a little more in depth. Yeah, I was going to try and set up some pre-recorded stuff to help students learn about how to use a camera, just like the basics, and kind of like in general, like I'm a big Adobe Creative Cloud guy. I use Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, and all that. So kind of just some beginner classes and that sort. However, like you're able to find things online that are free, of course. So like YouTube's a big thing for like our industry. A lot of people teach a lot of things, and that's kind of where I learned as well. So I'll try to take some things from there and plug and play. And we'll also have workshops, of course, that will help with coaching and skill development and guest speakers from the industry.
Thank you. All right. Comment, question, Ty, well done. Thank you for your leadership. All 3 presentations actually were constructed. Oh, sorry, my chat just moved on me. Love how it does that. I think the question was, are you going to partner with other student events such as Stafford Dinner, Fashion Showcase? Yeah, what are your plans to partner with these other?
That is the overall goal,
Yeah.
is to let students kind of partner with those big events as well as student organizations, because the student organizations have smaller events that they host on campus, and they have some bigger events that they also host on campus. That is the overall goal, is to get students to cover those events and allow students to be the ones that are producing the content and helping showcase all that fun stuff to the world and to alumni as well.
All right. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Carrie, asking where the equipment might be stored and how are you going to make sure it's secure, and how are you going to track like check in, check out type of things?
So right now the equipment will be stored here at the Bennett Sports Center. We have a balcony area that athletics uses mainly, that will have storage. We have storage containers that we'll bring in and have a lockup system for there. For tracking, we'll have an Excel sheet that will be we'll have pin numbers and things on certain pieces of equipment, and we'll find a way to kind of be able to track who has it, how long they'll have it for, kind of build that system. And then security wise, of course, a lock, making sure Luke Starkey will have a key to get into it. He'll be the only one in order to keep that safe. And then, of course, security sweeps this building every single night and during the day.
All right. Thank you. Carrie also mentioned, hi Carrie, all of these needs are great, all three of these projects. So he's mentioning if you're not awarded tonight, please resubmit because everyone tonight, and we only get to pick one project. He'd be happy to support each one of you. So just a reminder to reapply in the spring if you don't win this time around. Let's see. All three groups, well done. Three presentations were great. Thank you. TPUSA be open to the public or just students? I think you answered that.
Yeah, so absolutely. All of our events, that's something we're really passionate about is not only benefiting the students here on campus. Obviously, that's a number one priority, but equally as important is, getting out and inviting the community members to campus and share in these spectacular events that we're able to put on. We think that's very important. That's something that we've done in the past. Again, I go back to Stephen Davis just last week. We opened that up to the community. And as well, we even live stream that. We had the capability to live stream that, and we push that out to prospective students. So our roots are going even deeper than just the students here on campus at this time. We're looking to use Turning Point as an admissions thing as well, an enrollment tool. And yeah, we're very, very excited to this. But to answer your question, absolutely, that's definitely something that we're thinking about is opening up to the public.
Okay. All right, I think I've gone through all of the questions in the Q&A. So I think what we're going to do now is move the students into a chat room, green room, and it'll just be us donors here so we can continue our voting on which project. Dan, can we move them?
We are in the process. They just
Okay.
are jumping there.
I'm being patient. Thank you.
Yep, there they are. And I'll open the poll here in just a second.
Okay.
Poll's open.
All right. So just as a reminder, everyone gets one vote. We do have some proxy votes that we will be adding to the poll here at the end. Let's see here. We'll give you a few minutes.
Eighteen of 21 votes cast, 19.
So Robin's got the proxies. She's holding on to those.
Sure. All 21 votes cast.
All right. So everyone's voted. And Robin, do your proxy votes change?
They do not.
They do not.
Yep.
Okay. So can we give it total would be, can you give me the totals for each group maybe?
Yep.
Including?
Yep. 5-star would be 19.
Okay.
Freedom will be 11. Or you have Voices of Freedom, and then 3 for Timberwolf Media.
Okay. Are there any questions for me right now while the students are still in the green room? I've got Craig Middleton. All three groups are very deserving of funds. Could another round funding be raised by alumni, or could a private donation be made to the groups that don't win? Thanks for bringing that up, Craig. We actually have had funders come out from the woodwork and support other projects that were presented on Project 100 but didn't quite win. So if anyone is interested in funding one of the projects that did not win tonight, please let us know and we will connect you and we'll help you and try to make sure we can make something happen. Another funding group. We've actually talked about that too, trying to build Project 100 to Project 200. So there'd be more members. So if any of you are willing to, we're always open. actually our best members come from referrals. So if everyone on this call can find another alumni friend to join Project 100, you know, we would double our membership and we could then offer to two groups. You know, two groups could get the funding. So yes, always open to that. Didn't we just do minor? Carrie, I'm not sure what your question.
Lower minor, Julie, I think
Well,
she's
yeah,
referring to.
like lower minor remodel.
Oh,
That we-
yes.
that
I'm
we- that we
sorry.
did-
You're right.
that we-
Like what? Lower
yeah.
minor. Okay. Yes. Lower minor, we did remodel. And there is student space down there. So while they were showing the student union and it did look, you know, very dated, it has been updated since 79. I promise you that. It's been updated a few times, but I think since it's so heavily used, it just it doesn't hold up very well. But yes, Lower Minor is renovated and it is a nice student space for our students. But that student union is still like the heart and center of campus. So the students use that really heavily too. How is the room in Minor that was remodeled? You know what? I think we probably have something that we can send out to you guys in our follow-up, Project 100 follow-up. We might have like a video or some photos of Minor. It is pretty nifty down there, not gonna lie. But that happened. That was part of our flood remodeling. But it is also, I think before it was offices and some student space, but it's now purely student space and a few other offices down there. This was the toughest choice in a while. Kate, thanks. I agree. They're always tough. And she'd like to see the groups back again. We'll be sure to share that with all of the students. And Carrie's asking about the food truck. The food truck won. It was right before COVID. And so unfortunately that project got delayed and delayed and delayed some more. Because it was the students that won that. By the time they were allowed to do it, they were no longer Northwood students. They did use the funding. They did not create an actual food truck, but they did use the funding to build out their Woodside Grill area, which if you come to Auto Show on campus, you'll notice they have a Woodside Grill, which is kind of a trailer and some other things to help them host a pseudo food truck. So the funds were used, just not for an actual food truck. But yeah, that was a tough one. It took years to make that happen. Oh, Lauren, she says she hosts the mental health trainings in super minor, in minor, and it's super cool. Oh, Justin, thank you for posting the views of lower minor. There's a link in there if anyone wants to view that link. Okay. Sorry, I meant the room that we funded through Project 100. Oh, the room. You're
The
correct.
chapel.
Yes, chapel is in minor. It is complete, and we do have some photos, and we will send that out in, again, the follow-up email that we send to all members. But Kelly Laux was a student group student that presented that group, that project, and she just gave us another update. They worked so hard over the summer to get that chapel up and running, and it is it's a really nice showcase now, and I think it's going to be used heavily now. So we'll send those pictures out. Da-da-da. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna close her down and bring the students back on. And can you shut that down, Dan, so they don't see, maybe?
I did close it. I don't know if it will go away.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Okay. All right. Okay. You can bring it back on. Thanks.
Let me check the breakouts here real quick.
Okay.
That was the one to share results. Let's see. All right, we'll bring them back here too. There was a question in chat though. Do you have any additional insight into university's ability or priority of updating the union? I think that could be the biggest impact overall to the university. I don't know if you saw that or not. But
Yeah, hi Rob. I don't right now, but we'll definitely we're gonna dig into that a little bit more for sure.
all right, let me bring it back. Closing all the rooms. And they're back.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're gonna do a quick drum roll, please. And the winner of the Project 100 Fall 2025 is Five Star Student Union. Yay, congratulations. I want to let everyone know that the discussion when you guys were in your little green room is that the other this was one of the hardest choices that the group has had to make. So they wanted to choose all of you, but they couldn't. So it's possible sometimes that another funder, another donor might come out of the woodwork and help you guys with one of those projects. So we'll see what happens. And again, congratulations to Five Star Student Union. And I look forward to working with you guys and helping you with your funding. And again, Ty and Colin, you guys did great. And I hope to see you guys back in the spring. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to our donors for supporting this. And we look forward to seeing you all back in the spring as well.
And we just want to say thank you so much to the Project 100 donors. It was an incredible experience to be able to do this, and we're really excited to update the whole community about this whole process and making this thing the Five Star Student Union. So thank you so much. This was great. Yeah, and make sure you come back and visit. So you got to see.
We're gonna have to do like a grand opening.
Oh
which,
yeah.
You
Oh,
know
you
what?
know.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea because I think we're actually going to do a little like celebration or grand opening of the chapel too, which we just
Perfect.
renovated. So maybe we can kind of, yeah, do that. That would be a good idea.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, everyone, and look forward to, again, make sure to look at our follow-up email we're going to send you. There's going to be a lot of information in there. We're going to let you know how you can support the other groups if you want to support the other groups. We're going to let you know how to add more people to this group if you've got someone you want to refer, so we can keep this growing and fund more awesome student projects like this. So thanks again and have a great night.